about it.
Well, California politicians propose a massive property tax hike. It's called Proposition 15. It's on the ballot. Chairman of Reform California, DeMaio, joins us now with the details on what this could mean for taxpayers. And this is something everybody should pay attention to. Carl, good morning. Great to see you.
Good morning.
Okay, so now it's on the ballot and it's got a proposition number. What do we need to know about this?
Well, it's got a very faulty title. We saw this in previous initiatives where, like for the gas tax initiative in 2018, they took away the words gas tax repeal from the title and put a very confusing title on the initiative. This initiative is a massive $14 billion property tax increase. It would gut a lot of Prop 13 from 1978, the historic initiative led by Howard Jarvis, that limits what politicians can charge us in terms of property taxes to a sustainable, modest increase. This initiative, Prop 15, would undo a lot of those protections, and they don't mention the word tax or property tax or increase in the title. Instead, it's just the school improvement initiative, highly, highly misleading. And that's why we got to get the word out that Prop 15 is a blank check tax hike and people need to vote no.
Why is it written this way? I mean, how can that happen? Who does this? I'm really curious.
Well, the why is pretty simple. Politicians are liars, cheats, and thieves. I can't be more blunt about it than that. They want more of our money rather than doing the necessary work of reforming government and cutting wasteful spending. They see it as we just, want more money from taxpayers. And there will never be enough tax increases to satisfy the spending addiction of Sacramento politicians and local San Diego politicians. We've got to say no. I mean, government has historically high taxes in California, the highest income tax, the highest sales tax, the highest gas tax. Property taxes actually have gone up by an inflation-adjusted amount of 400% since 1978. So you can't argue that we're not paying enough in taxes. The real problem is that the politicians are not satisfied and they don't want to stop their spending. What they've found is that if people know that it's a tax increase, they'll vote against it. I mean, go figure. So what they're doing is they're lying on the ballot, and they have the ability through the Attorney General to put biased titles and summaries on initiatives. That needs to be reformed. But in the meantime, we have to vote no on Prop 15, and we've got to alert our friends, our neighbors, our coworkers that Prop 15 has a biased and inaccurate, misleading title, and that it actually is a massive property tax increase.
Because if you look at the ballot, the way this is written, it's like if you vote for Prop 15 or the children will suffer. They never mention a tax increase.
You got it. Yeah. All they say is that they changed the assessment, and that's buried way down in a paragraph of legalese. It doesn't say tax increase, and it certainly does not mention that this initiative guts the protections in Prop 13. And the reality is this: you're going to have politicians take hostages, and this is how this is going to play out. The Sacramento politicians with Gavin Newsom just passed a budget the past week that is $14 billion short. Sound familiar? $14 billion short. Oh, but then they put a $14 billion tax increase on the ballot in November. What's going to happen is we're going to get closer to the election. And as ballots are mailed out in early October, the politicians will say that unless you vote yes on 15, they're going to have to slash programs for children, slash programs for the elderly. Here's the other thing that I will predict is happening, and we've already seen this with our local school districts. They will say that if you don't vote for Prop 15, they're going to have to shut the schools early, or actually shut the schools immediately after the election. You see local school board members backing this tax increase, this property tax increase with Prop 15. And what they're saying is we don't have enough money to keep schools open when we reopen sometime in late August, even with COVID-19 restrictions. So what they're doing is they're putting a gun to the head of the voter, and they're taking hostages, children, schools, older people. The reality is this: we've got more than enough money in the budget to fund those important programs. if politicians cut wasteful spending, like get rid of the high-speed rail project, or here's another, controversial, but I think a necessary step: stop paying illegal immigrants $1,000 a month in welfare payments. Cut off the illegal immigrant health care. I mean, this is a state that seems to have money for all of that, the high-speed rail train and extra welfare programs for people who are not citizens, but they don't have enough money for our children, the basic fundamental role of government.
Yeah.
It's again, shameful tactics, and we need to reject those tactics by voting no on Prop 15.
Okay, Carl DeMaio from Reform California. Carl, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And if people want to join the campaign, they can go to stoppropertytaxhikes.com.
Stoppropertytaxhikes.com. Okay.
Thank you.